Hello, this video is designed to show the impact of the Sainsbury Management Fellow Scheme on UK industry and society, and the progress we have made, individually and collectively, over 30 years of empowering engineers to become business leaders. In that time, over £8 million of scholarships have been awarded, and hundreds of fellows have attended the top 14 business schools in the world. And we've achieved considerable wider successes, promoting the message that engineering skills are best matched to commercial and business skills in order to solve societal problems and generate economic wealth. I hope you enjoy this video.
I've always regarded the Sainsbury Management Fellows as one of the great success stories of Gatsby. My idea of setting up the scheme in the first place was that one should have more people in senior positions in industry who had an engineering background, because it seems to me that companies need to be run by people who understand the customers and the technology of their businesses. And against that criteria, I think the Sainsbury Management Fellow Scheme has been a huge success. If you look at the figures, I think there are 275 companies which have been set up by fellows, which are now successfully in operation. 40% of the fellows actually have executive position on companies, and I think 33 have non-executive positions. So this is exactly what I want to see. And looking to the future, I hope the current fellows will produce more of the same in the future, because it's a great success story.
I completed my PhD in electrical engineering. I worked for 4 years in Cambridge at Schlumberger's R&D Centre. 2 years in, the director of the centre saw leadership potential in me and promoted me to R&D manager, overseeing a team of researchers. I loved the business and soft skills side of this new role, developing a vision and plan and motivating a team to deliver on that. Yet I felt I lacked many of the skills that would help me excel. This is when I decided to pursue an MBA and found out about the Sainsbury Management Fellowship. Post-MBA, I joined the world of management consulting, and there I found that the mix of an engineering background and a strong business and soft skills from the MBA gave me a strong edge versus my peers. I believe this also gave me the confidence to push the boundaries when I moved to the Middle East. Almost 4 years ago, I was the first woman to make partner in the company's Middle East region.
30 years ago, I was one of 4 young engineers who went off to business school, 2 to IMD and 2 to INSEAD. We completed our MBAs, and we went off into business to pursue our careers. So many SMFs have since gone on and pursued their dreams, creating businesses and organisations, starting them up, in many cases working for them for many years, and in some cases actually owning them. It's a remarkable cohort of individuals who share a common background of education and have gone on to be successful in so many different walks of life. We owe our thanks really to Lord Sainsbury for both having the original idea that engineers in business makes sense, but also to make that support possible to us over 3 decades now.
My background is engineering, specifically in rail transportation. I decided to apply for an MBA to add the necessary business skill sets that will help me transition into a general management role later on. I also believe that an MBA from a top business school will boost my credibility as an indication of my dedication to the pursuit of my goals. So far, life at INSEAD is pretty intense. I learned so many new things, ideas and concepts. However, having a quantitative background and a structured thought process definitely helps. I also get a lot of support from my peers and classmates. Generally, the culture here is pretty collaborative. I decided to apply for the Sainsbury Scholarship because I think it provides access to an incredible network of people who have done exceptionally well and also come from the same place where I came and share my background. I want to thank Lord Sainsbury for giving me the opportunity to get the most out of my MBA, and I wish to the Sainsbury Management Fellows a very happy anniversary.
In 1994, I was lucky enough to receive a Sainsbury Fellowship to study at INSEAD, the business school for the world. This scholarship opened up new paths and opportunities to me that I didn't even know existed before coming here, including my current role as the Associate Dean for INSEAD. In the 30 years since the launch of the fellowship programme, more than 160 students have chosen to study for their MBA at INSEAD, nearly half of the total. The scholarship's important to us because it allows people who would not otherwise have been able to pay our fees to benefit from the same opportunities that I benefited from. On behalf of myself, of INSEAD and the 160 students who have studied here over the last 30 years, I would like to thank Lord Sainsbury, the Gatsby Foundation and the SMF organisation for making this scholarship possible. Thank you.
The SMF was very useful for me. I couldn't have afforded to go to business school without the scholarship. And it allowed me to move from an engineering to a finance career. And it also allowed me to live in 4 different African countries and work with emerging markets. I think I worked with over 20 countries doing project finance around the world. What has most surprised me is since I left England in 1994, immediately after my MBA, coming back just 3 years ago, I have been welcomed in, and it's such an incredible network with so many people who have been really, really useful to me and have just been so welcoming, I think.
It seems long ago in a land far, far away, but I can still picture attending the dinner back in April 1989 to mark the inauguration of what was then the Sainsbury Management Fellows Club. I remember working with other fellows to draft our constitution, form a committee and raise financial support from the Gatsby Foundation. I was actually the Society's first president, and I have fond memories of committee meetings I chaired at our office in Red Lion Court between 1992 and 1994. Lord Sainsbury and my MBA changed my life, and it took me from being just another British engineer to helping me become an international businessman. I settled here in Australia 14 years ago, and after being CEO of multiple companies, I'm now advising the government here on investment in tech startups and innovation. I'm hugely proud to be a Sainsbury Fellow.
The Academy is delighted to have worked with the Sainsbury Management Fellows over a whole 30 years now since the inception of the scheme by Lord Sainsbury in 1987. He spoke with our then President, Sir Dennis Rook, to establish it, and since then some 300 or so Sainsbury Management Fellows have come through the system. Now these have all been amongst the brightest and best of the engineers of their generation, who the scheme has put through management schools across Europe and into the USA to give them the business management skills that engineers have needed to help get them to the top of UK businesses. And it's been enormously successful, and it continues to be fantastically successful. In some ways it was the precursor of lots of other activity to improve the leadership skills in engineering across the UK. We're now using the Sainsbury Management Fellows in a very effective way to help promote engineering to the next generation of engineering leaders, and the relationship between the SMF Society and the Academy has been fantastic, and we're hugely grateful to the SMF Association for the work that you do with the Academy and for the work that you do for engineering in the UK. And finally, if I may just wish you a happy anniversary, 30 years of brilliant success. Thank you.
Over the last 30 years, the SMF alumni have created over 18,000 jobs in new businesses worth over £4 billion, as well as inspiring and mentoring many hundreds of young people. More recently, in order to secure our future, we have incorporated as a company limited by guarantee and registered with the Charity Commission. This has enabled perpetual succession and allowed us to start a fundraising drive in order to ensure that the scheme can continue to prosper and perform in the future. If you feel you can help in any way, we'd very much like to hear from you. Thank you.